Let's go out to Chicago and talk to Megan. What's up, Megan?
Yes. Hi. How are you, Dr. D?
I'm good. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good too. Thanks for asking.
Of course.
My husband and I are just huge fans of you, so we just wanted to give a little shout out and say thank you for all you do, because you've really helped improve our lives. And also, I think he's a little jealous that I get to talk to you today.
Are you guys coming to the live event in Chicago?
We are. So we're very excited about that.
All right. I want you to hang on the line, and I'm going to get your info from Jenna, and I'm going to get you backstage, and you can come meet everybody and get photos and all that kind of stuff. Is that cool?
Oh, that is more than beyond cool. Oh, my gosh. My husband's going to be so excited.
Okay, but you got to tell your husband that, hey, I know some folks, and so I hooked us up. Okay? Cool?
Oh, I will. I'll say it was my friends over at Ramsey Network.
and even better, if you don't tell him at all, and you ask him to wear literally the dumbest shirt he has in his closet, and then surprise him, they'll be captured in photo forever, right? Okay, so, all right, on to the call. So what's up?
So I guess I'll ask my question and then give a little bit of context. So now that I'm newly a mom, how do I stop my chronic people pleasing and set up boundaries for my daughter with family?
Well, you do 7 somersaults and some jumping jacks and it goes away. I'm just kidding. So give me a scenario. You called for a reason. What happened?
So I have kind of 2 scenarios. One that's recently happened, and then one we're trying to figure out how to newly approach, since the one didn't go as how we were hoping.
Okay.
Our daughter was born extremely premature at 26 weeks, and for the safety of her, we set some rules when she finally came out of the NICU. But now we've recently been kind of guilt-tripped into trying to break those boundaries.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you as we go. Is that cool?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Sure.
I'm going to teach you how to do this for yourself as a people pleaser, okay? So one of the most important things is to not let the ball get pushed off the top of the mountain, because it just starts rolling and it collects things. Remember those old cartoons where the snowball gets pushed off the top of the mountain, and by the time it gets to the bottom, it's just huge?
Yes.
That's what our thoughts do, okay? So I'm going to interrupt you, and this is what you need to do as you're heading into the rest of motherhood, okay?
Okay.
Number 1. This child is your baby. You and your husband's baby. You made some rules as a couple about the health and safety of your baby, probably in consultation with a doctor. Nobody else gets a vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So when you are walking on the street and you're like, I know, but they're starting to guilt trip me, I'm going to interrupt myself and go, hold on. I'm the mom. Nobody gets a vote. Except for my husband. That's it. All right, on to the next. Okay, so they're guilt-tripping you.
Yeah, I mean, they've always just guilt-tripped us in
Who's
general.
They, by the way? In-laws?
All 4 sets of families.
All 4. Sweet.
Yeah, well, because my parents are divorced, and then his parents are currently working through their divorce.
Oh, so, fantastic.
We have... Yeah, so we have 4 sets of families, and she's the first grandbaby.
Oh, gee. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm trying to break, being a people pleaser and learn how to set boundaries, because I want to lead by example, just knowing, I don't want my daughter to grow up the same and struggle with things and situations I have, because I was kind of raised this way.
Yep. Kind of.
But
100%. Yes.
1,000%. Yeah.
Okay. Here, let me interrupt. So here's at the core of people pleasing. What I think, what I know, and what I feel matter less than what everybody else thinks, feels, and knows.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reversal of that process is to begin with, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of home do me and my husband want to co-create together?
Right.
And you build that out that way. And often this sounds counterintuitive and it's very non-Instagrammy, right? Start with feelings. what do you want your home to feel like when y'all walk into it?
Mhm.
I want my house, and I'll tell you, me and my wife did this exercise. I wanted my house to feel warm when I walked into it. And interestingly, that meant I had to clean up my crap. And when my house feels chaotic and a little bit cold, it's often because I've got piles of just stuff everywhere. I'm a piler, right? I wanted there to be laughter and joy in my house, more so than frustration and bickering and chaos. Last night, we put all the phones away and we played Trivia Pursuit. And we have the kid one for when my daughter gets there and my son's with the adult one. We were talking trash. We were laughing, dancing. It was just turned into a mess. And it ended with crying and tears like they usually do. But the 80% we got out, it was awesome, right? So, but we chose, I want our house to feel like this. And then we reverse engineered that with what do we have to do to make it feel like that, right? And conversely, what do we want our holidays to feel like? What do we want the first 3 months of our baby's life to feel like? And what do we need? What has to be true for that to happen? And it might be we're not visiting family for the first 90 days. It's our first baby. We're going to get our head screwed up on straight. This baby was really dicey out of the gate. We're going to make sure everybody's on top of things. And then we'll reach back out. And that's you ending people pleasing by saying, I matter. The way I feel, what I know to be true, what my doctor suggests, what I think, that stuff matters. And that's how you work your way out of it. And you're like, that's cute. Okay, but how do I make them not hate me, right?
Well, so she's been home for about 2 months, so we did kind of go through similarly that, but funny enough, my question was about holidays and how we approach that, because we'd want to kind of change family traditions and start our own here, which would like include having Christmas morning alone.
Say that out loud, probably in an email. Okay?
Okay.
Say that in an email. Me and, let's pretend your husband's name was Dan. Me and Dan are creating our new family traditions for our core family unit. And part of that will be we don't travel on New Year's Day. Part of that will be we don't travel on Christmas Eve. We wake up and have Christmas as a family unit on Christmas morning. And then you all decide what comes after that. If he has to go back to work the next day, that means we have from noon until 7 p.m. at night before baby goes down. And I want to tell you this is hard in divorced families, and this is unpopular what I'm about to say, and I don't care. They chose to get divorced. They decided as adults to either be able to or not be able to be in the same room together. They made that choice as adults. They're not babies, they're not kids. And so, if they have chosen to get divorced, and they have chosen to not be able to, I'm not being in the same room with them, or it'd be too weird, great. We're making one stop. So, we'll see y'all this year, and we'll see them next year. Ta-da! That is not y'all withholding. That is them making adult choices. You see the difference?
Yes. Yeah.
And you, Megan, are not responsible for other adult choices. You're responsible for you and your family unit and you and your husband working together.
Right. Yeah.
And I know that's hard, but listen, sending an email is good because A, that keeps the pressure, people from talking you out of what you've already decided. That stops the, okay, but all right, I'll call you back. Let me think on it. But your dad has to do this thing, and your stepmom needs to go do this with her kids, and so we need you to be here. That's not going to work this year. And so if you send out a map via email, this is the way this is going to be. And let me be honest with you, 100%. You're going to put up these boundaries. As soon as you told everybody you were pregnant, they created a picture in their mind of what this baby was going to do for their life.
Very accurate.
So any boundary you put up is something they're going to have to grieve because it's changing the picture that they created. But your baby is not a puzzle piece in their puzzle. This baby is not a pacifier for their life. This baby is not a cigarette or a drink to make them feel better about the world they've created. This is a human being, and it's yours. And so I say that to say, expect them to be upset with you. Expect them to be like, well, I just can't believe that. That's fair. That's fair. And I'm going to tell you, on the back end of that, years later, my in-laws, my parents are so respectful when we say, hey, this year has been bananas. This year, we're going to have way more time. This year, we can spend 2 days. This year, we can spend 1 day, or we're not traveling at all. That's the email we sent out last year. Hey, we're not going to be on the road this year. John's traveling like crazy, meeting with businesses, and we're just not going to travel. We're going to spend a time together as a family, and we're also not hosting this year. We're just going to take a year off. I know that was hard for my parents. I know that. And they were so respectful because we built a culture of they trust the son that they raised. My wife's parents trust the daughter that they raised, that they're going to do what's best for their family unit. See what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, yeah. The mama bear in me really wants to do this. I guess it just hurts when I get called neurotic for doing so.
Listen, they're going to call you way worse before it's over. And can I be honest with you? You probably are a little neurotic, and that's okay. You know, right? Probably you are a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's fair. It's fair. What I think is really important in these moments, honestly, is a couple of girlfriends of yours that you have 24-hour, 365 text availability. I remember watching my wife. She was smart enough to get that on the front end, and it was a lifeline because she was able to text a group of 3 women, I think it was, maybe 4, 24/7, 365. Hey, is this rash normal? Is this weird? What happens if there's fever? Like, I feel like I hate my husband. Is this all normal? And she had friends that would respond instantly. And there is, I'll push back on culture a little bit here too. There is part of a family legacy. You have to make the trip sometimes, right? You got to go see family. It's long. It's annoying. Being a part of a family tree does not mean it's always just the greatest thing ever. There is long road trips for a 1-day trip. There is expensive flights sometimes. That's part of it. And so I don't want you to create boundaries so much that you isolate yourself from everybody. But you get to decide when those long trips are going to be and for what purposes. And having a group of women in your life that you can text and be like, am I crazy? Am I neurotic? And they'll go, yeah, you're insane. Go to the birthday. What's the matter with you? And they don't have any skin in the game other than they love you, and they'll tell you the truth. Is that fair?
That. Yeah.
It keeps you from feeling like you are fighting in-laws by yourself. And having to decide why all 4 of these couples are ganging up on you. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Here's the exercise I want you to do. I want you to get with your husband, and I want y'all to start with, how do we want the first holiday with our new baby to feel? We want it to feel adventurous. Do we want it to feel still and quiet and calm? Do we want it to feel gentle? Do we want it to feel like a party? You get to decide. Everybody's different. And then you get to decide from there, okay, that means we probably shouldn't travel this year. If we want to be calm and chill, we should not travel. We want it to have adventures. We want our first Christmas with our little one. We want it to be like fun and like we're cool parents still. Great. Get a 2-week road trip. Take off work. Go get them, right? Y'all get to decide that. But I want y'all to begin to map it out. And as you enter into September, October, send the email out early to all families. This is what this is going to be. And by the way, if they're like, we don't like to be included on emails with your mother's ex-husband. Sorry, I'm sending one email, guys. I'm not gonna cut the crust off your bread. You can be an adult. But I'm going to send this out to everybody and just say, hey, look, here's what we're going to do for Christmas this year. Here's when we're going to be available or not available. And we're we're so honored that y'all are going to walk alongside us as we create this new family. And I think just taking some ownership there, let them say what they're going to say. And by the way, if they say a bunch of ugly, mean stuff, then they may opt out completely. You get to decide that. You get to decide that. Stay on the line. Jenna's she's gonna get your info for the backstage stuff, and she's gonna send you a copy of my brand new book, Building a Non-Anxious Life. I want you and your husband to work through this book together in the exercise as you follow the path. I think it would help your home, your entire home, to say, okay, who are we attached to that's running our life for us? Who are we trying to please? What companies are telling us what we're doing with our time and our money and whatever? And it's going to help you reclaim ownership. It's a book about empowerment and hope, and I want to give that to y'all as a gift, as your as a baby gift, for y'all to create a home. It's going to be different than the one you grew up in, and a marriage is going to be different than the one y'all both watched fall apart. And a kid that's not going to be a people pleaser, but a kid that's going to know their own inherent value and worth.